you have two multi-layered conspiracies that were existing at the same time, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. This side of the board right here is the Williams drug trafficking organization, and it's its separate conspiracy which flows down into Carson's casino dealers. The main supplier in that case is Ernest Washington. He was arrested. He had was based out of the Bronx. He supplied Lamont Williams Sr. as well as Lamont Williams Jr. and their organization here, as you can see, the name Operation Family Ties. You have boyfriends, girlfriends, fathers, daughters, brothers, sister, husband, and wives. We're all part of this conspiracy here. But this conspiracy mostly worked out of 170 Carson in the city of Newburgh, and they had their own set of dealers. And they called themselves Carson Casino because at that location you could get cocaine, heroin, PCP. It was pretty much an anything goes in that location, and these were all of the workers that were part of that conspiracy. And as you see, it flows up. But as we see in Orange County and all over, conspiracies, while this is one separate side of the conspiracy, there was crossover. There's another conspiracy here, the Rivera drug trafficking organization. It had its own people that worked for it, and it again was part of heroin and cocaine. It was supplied by Reuben Cruz and Nancy Cruz, Mr. Rivera was, which were basically the main suppliers. And again, we had family ties. We had Rivera, you had brothers, and you had some family members that were part of this. But interestingly enough, the Rivera drug trafficking organization also supplied the Williams drug trafficking organization. And both of the conspiracies, while there was crossover in the supply, they not only operated in the city of Newburgh, the town of New Windsor, Plattekill, Port Jervis, all throughout Orange County. And as the major said when he spoke, there was quite a bit of danger that the officers that were involved that took this conspiracy, both of these down. As you were aware, in the city of Port Jervis and other locations, helicopters were used, a lot of undercover officers. So again, without their fine work, we were not able to do this. But again, this diagram here shows the level of complexity that we're facing in the drug trafficking trade here in Orange County, throughout New York, and all over the country. It's not just one person supplying the organization, it's multiple sources of supply, and it's crossover. And again, I believe it's 37 people part of this total. I believe we're still seeking 3 individuals. One of them, Mr. Boykin, should be considered armed and dangerous, and I believe we're looking for him right now. So if the public has any information regarding his whereabouts, we would ask them to call their local police agency or the state police, because again, he is wanted and he should be considered dangerous. So on that note, I will turn it back over to the major. But again, I think when you look at this, the amount of family members that are involved on both conspiracies, the amount of crossover you have, and the level of complexity when you follow these lines, it shows you what we face in law enforcement today in going forward and prosecuting these cases and bringing these individuals to justice. Because again, the heroin, the cocaine, the PCP, they kill people. And people get killed because of it. Law enforcement's primary job in the heroin epidemic has to be to cut supply, and that is what we did here by dismantling and disrupting and displacing these 2 drug trafficking organizations. Our secondary role is always law enforcement or the DA's office is education and prevention. And lastly, we work to try to push people to treatment that need the treatment.